This past week, it hit the fan yet again. Simone Biles versus Riley Gaines.
Uh-oh.
This is a crazy situation, but there's been some developments.
Yeah.
There's been some developments. I was shocked at the way Simone Biles came at Riley Gaines. Not only was I shocked, I was also shocked at just the sheer misinformation.
Yeah.
Play this little video to catch us up real quick.
Simone Biles is speaking out against former U.S. swimmer Riley Gaines for her recent anti-sports comment. On June 6th, Riley reshared a post on X by the Minnesota State High School League. The Champlain Park girls softball team, which includes a athlete, was celebrating a state championship, but the post's comment restrictions appeared to upset the former NCAA swimmer. Comments off, LOL, Gaines wrote, to be expected when your star player is a boy.
Oof.
That's crazy.
She's an activist for this.
Oh, yeah.
This is her thing. I'm not probably posting this.
Yeah. It's
right?
A bunch of kids.
It's a bunch of kids. But this is Riley's thing. This is what she has found her hill to die on as a women athlete. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Right? This is no different than someone that's against the deletion of babies and wanting to bring awareness to how horrific the act is and how it hurts women, children, and men. Yeah. Same thing. You could be like, whoa, why are they talking about? It's like, well, because this is a really terrible thing that happens in women's sports. And a women's athlete is a great person to speak about this. True.
Simone responded to Riley's comment, calling out the Nashville natives' anti-rhetoric. You're truly thick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore.
Okay. Did anyone catch the issue here? The first issue here. Anyone catch the issue? Did anyone catch it? Chat? Anyone know the first thing here that's wrong? I mean, first you called her sick. That's the first thing. You see the second thing that's wrong? Anybody? She didn't actually lose the race. Did you guys know that?
Hello.
Did you guys know that? She actually tied.
Ugh. And then it gave it to the trans swimmer.
And they let the Leah
Thomas
stand top, even though it was a tie.
That's crazy.
I would be mad too.
Yeah.
I tied with this dude.
And now everyone's saying you lost.
And now my legacy is you're the sore loser?
That's crazy.
That's insane, dog.
Yeah.
So out the rip, you're furthering misinformation, Simone.
Yeah.
You're peddling complete nonsense. She didn't lose the race. She tied. And then they were like, who should we give the trophy to? Pull up the picture. Who should we give the trophy to? Well, it would look like bigotry if we gave it to the cisgendered woman. Give it to the trans woman. Yeah. That'd be good.
She's like, we're believing this right now?
Ain't that crazy?
She's like,
fact check me on this. Riley Gaines tied for 5th place with Leah Thomas.
Damn, they didn't even tie for 1st. This is all over 5th place? This changes things, Ruslan. I need another spokesperson. Maybe Simone Biles got a point. You're fighting over 5th.
Thomas received the 5th place trophy after finishing the race. This tie and subsequent events became a focal point in the debate.
5th place.
Simone wrote in an X post. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports.
This is a crazy proposition.
Yeah.
You need to figure out how to create a separate category.
Yeah.
For folks who have gender dysphoria.
Yeah,
so they feel included.
Yeah, you need to bend the knee at all costs because you're mad. If you're the one upset about it, build them a home.
Crazy.
The most decorated gymnast of all time went on to say, quote, one thing for sure is no one in sport is safe with you around. The conservative pundit and the Olympic champion continued to spar on social media, with Simone suggesting.
And let's just point out Access Hollywood's crazy framing of this. Anti-conservative pundit.
Yeah.
Like, this is just drenched in craziness.
They're like, look how, like, she's a star. Simone is a star for sticking up to a bully.
This is nuts.
Bully someone their own size. Adding, quote, which would ironically be a male.
Now she's body shaming her? Ain't Simone Biles like 4'6"?
Simone Biles is like 4'8", and then also Riley Gaines. We looked up Riley Gaines. She's like 5'6".
This is stupid.
She's not like tall. She's a normal height woman.
Simone crashed out.
Yeah, Simone crashed out.
Someone take her phone.
Yeah.
Take her from her.
Simone fighting someone her own size would be like an elementary school student.
And there's a development in this we're going to get to in a sec, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Riley responded, in part calling Simone a male apologist at the expense of young girls' dreams. As of June 8th, Riley has continued to post about the situation on X, but it does not appear that Simone has posted any further.
Well, we fixed that.
We fixed that. By the way, that whole entire little thing with every picture of,
I was just about to say, every picture is
of Riley is unflattering.
Is like crashing out, and then it's like,
look at these are not flattering.
And then
pictures.
it's like her smiling and her at the red carpet.
This is foul. This is nasty. That's a decent photo of her. Simone Biles issues a statement. I have not read this. I'm going in blind.
Come on.
I wanted to follow up for my last tweets.
69,000 likes.
I've always believed competitive equity and inclusive. Okay, buzzword. What does any of this mean? What is equity? If there was equity in sports, there wouldn't be sports. Do you understand? Equity is we get the same results. The whole point of sports is who's the superior athlete. It's about competition.
Hello.
You can't have both.
Competitive equity.
What the heck is competitive equity? Oh, gosh. Are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges. And it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for.
Come on.
Okay.
I have to give her a follow.
These are sensitive, complicated issues that I truly don't have the answers or solutions to. But I believe it starts with empathy and respect. I was not advocating for policies that compromise fairness in women's sport. What?
I mean,
you were advocating and pushing back. And what you in your pushback, you were advocating for the current status quo, which allows biologically born men to compete against biologically born women. That is the current status quo until people step in and correct those bad policies. So that is what you were advocating for.
hello.
My objection is to be singling out children for public scrutiny in many ways that feel personal harmful. Well, you should have said that. Hey, Riley, I know this is personal to you. I know that you've been mistreated by a biologically born male athlete. However, Riley, perhaps we shouldn't take it out on teenage athletes. These are minors.
Yeah.
More sensible.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? More sensible. Probably would have still fell flat,
Yeah, definitely.
but more sensible. My objection is not to be singling out children or public scrutiny in ways that feel personal or harmful. Individual athletes, especially kids, should never be the focus of criticism or a flawed system they have no control over. I believe sports, well, are kids complicit, and if they're dealing with gender dysphoria, then they're going in to compete against biologically born women who they have an advantage over? I don't know. I mean, again, they have enough consent to go through gender affirming care, but they don't have enough consent or wherewithal to understand that they have an advantage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know.
They're either like really smart adults or they're not. We would be on the side of they're not, and we don't give them the ability to go through gender affirming care at 14, 15, 16 years old.
Right. Or if they do, then they're complicit in creating a situation that a biologically born female is at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
Can't have it both ways.
They have it both ways. That's for sure.
Should never be the focus of criticism of a flawed system they have no control over. I believe sports organizations have a responsibility to come up with rules supporting inclusion while maintaining fair competition. Simone, you can't have both. I don't think she means what this is the issue is like, this is weaponized empathy. This is where we are. This is weaponized empathy. It's you want something that is fair and inclusive. You can't have both.
Yeah.
Not in women's sports. You cannot have. Hey, men's sports, bring in the biological women.
Yeah, sure.
Let them go at it. Let's see how that pans out. Take some of the women from the WNBA and let them go in there with LeBron.
Yeah.
But it does not go the other way. LeBron cannot go into the WNBA.
UFC even.
UFC.
Well.
It doesn't. It does not work that way. So you can't have both. And all of this, respectfully. And I'm not trying to dunk on Simone because again, I don't think she's being nasty. I think she means well. But when people mean well and they have an incoherent worldview, when people mean well and their empathy and their compassion is being weaponized, when people mean well, these are the incoherent takes that we get. This sentence here does not make sense. Competitive equity? What does that even? You can't have competitive equity.
I think the top comment.
I know Kat, actually. Shout out to Kat. If you can't definitely say that men do not belong in women's sports, this post rings completely vapid and hollow. You would not have been a medalist if you were forced to compete against a man. Do better. This wasn't it. Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's true. So even her PR, I don't know if her PR team put this up. I don't know who put this up.
Yeah.
And the saddest part about this is that she has dealt with men in her sport that have been foul towards her. The dude that was arrested and is in jail now, she
coach,
testified against him. Yes.
The gymnast coach.
Yeah, people rightfully pointed this out. And so again, I don't think that she's trying to be nasty, but this is how these things work is it's and I don't mean to keep going back on that. It's no different than the immigration situation. It's no different than the Gaza situation.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to weaponize people's empathy against them, and you're not actually presenting a coherent framework. You're not presenting solutions. So you can't have a nation with open borders. You can't have mass immigration and have protection against people who are here and the resources that are going there. You can't have competitive and equity. These are incoherent things that don't go together. But when people are being emotionally driven in these conversations, they don't understand that none of this is coherent. None of this actually lines up. Yeah. And the deeper issue is, well, how do you then even come to conclusions of what are facts and what's reality, and then how one ought to act, right? Because your facts are, well, it's subjective, and then you can't even come to well, we ought do this. The facts are this. We can't even agree on the facts, let alone the prescriptions.
Yeah.
So we're in a mess now, right? That's the issue. And so I don't think Simone is trying to be malicious. I think Simone is unfortunately indoctrinated in a paradigm that she's too deep in to understand how crazy all of this sounds coming from her.
Gotcha.
And I hope that there would be people in her life that would gently correct her and push back. And maybe that's where that apology came from. Right? Maybe that's where that apology came from. I think it is necessary to have people in your life you disagree with that can say, hey, not a good look. You're oversimplifying.
Heard it here first, folks. Ruslan talks to people he disagrees with. I don't know how I feel about that. Ruslan exposed.
Got me. Well, I don't know if you guys know, but you can now watch our podcast, our full podcast, on the Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. So if you didn't know, go over there, make sure you're following Ruslan KD, and leave a review, because we're really trying to drop great podcast over there with long form guests and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you're following us on the Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. All right. See you over there.